Welcome. In our past discussion, we mentioned the sixth millennium. We left off midday, mid time, the crack of dawn of Friday morning. The year 1740, 500 years into the sixth millennium, the time when Mashiach should start being present within the world. It's interesting that the sixth day and Moshiach is related Kabbalistically to the concept of tzaddik Yesod Olam. That's the number of six. It's just a Kabbalistic idea. It's interesting that until the Baal Shem Tov, we didn't really have the notion of a tzaddik. There were, of course, tzaddikim, beginning with Yosef HaTzaddik, who was called tzaddik, and other tzaddikim throughout history, but the general name of the great people were different names. There were Go'onim, there were Rishonim, there were Tanoim, there were Amoraim, there were Aves, there were the Nevi'im, so on and so forth. The concept of tzaddik and the concept and the idea of bonding of tzaddik is all about Yesod, and Yesod is the element of bonding. It's attachment. The concept of his kashrus to a tzaddik, the bonding to the tzaddik, came with the emergence of the Baal Shem Tov, because that has to do with the concept of Moshiach, which is the ultimate tzaddik, which people feel very, 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 very deeply connected to him in a very, very deep way. The Baal Shem Tov went up to heaven. He writes a letter to his brother-in-law, Reb Gershon Kitover, and he asks him, when he was in Shamayim and he was traveling through the worlds, he ends up in the Heichal of Mashiach. He asks Mashiach Tzidkenu, Emasai Ka'asimar, when is Mashiach coming? And Mashiach himself answers to the Baal Shem Tov that when your teachings will spread around the world, which means a prerequisite for Mashiach is the Baal Shem Tov. To understand a little bit just short why, and that is one of the main elements of Mashiach is that Mashiach will reveal the secrets of the Torah. Mashiach will enlighten us in Torah in ways way beyond anything we've ever had before. The Medrash says that the Torah we learn today is considered hevel. Hevel almost meaning like, not, I can use the word foolish, but truth is I don't want to translate that word because I don't want to say chas v'shalom, a word that would not be respectful to the Torah that we learn today. But it's considered to a very great degree pretty insignificant in comparison to the Torah that Mashiach is going to teach. And it's the secrets of the Torah. Rashi says in Shir HaShirim, Yishakenu minashikais pihu, Hashem will kiss us with the kiss of his mouth. The kiss of his mouth is the revelation of the secrets of the Torah. The Baal Shem Tov came to reveal Pnimiyas HaTorah even deeper and even higher than Kabbalah. Now, that is related with Friday morning. Shabbos, you see that the ultimate time of when Hashem's light will fill the world is going to be in Shabbos Kodesh, Yom Shekulei Shabbos. What do we do on Shabbos? Shabbos we eat. We daven, we learn, but main thing on Shabbos, Suda Shabbos, we eat. So the time of Yom Shekulei Shabbos, we will be eating as well. There's a Sher HaBoyer, there's a Leviyasan, there's a great fish. The fifth Chabad Rebbe, Reb Shalom Dev Ber, explains that we were not suffering and being persecuted for thousands of years to get a nice big piece of gefilte fish, even if it's sushi, and even if and with all the condiments of sushi, we were not suffering the suffering that we've gone through for the fish and the meat that the Sher HaBoyer and Leviyasan. Obviously, this has a much deeper meaning. Eating means processing knowledge is called eating. Because just like when you eat, you take information, it becomes part of you, so too when you learn something, you understand something, your brain processes, like eating, it becomes part of who you are. When Mashiach will come, we'll have the ultimate feast of divine knowledge. But we all know the halacha, that on Erev Shabbos, Kodesh, we're supposed to taste from the Shabbos food. So on Friday morning, in time, when the Baal Shem Tov came, we began the te'ima of tasting from the Shabbos food. Now here's just one amazing thought. Some people will say, well, wasn't the main teachings of Kabbalah and the hidden teachings already coming from the Arizal, when the Arizal was revealed? So here's another teaching from the fifth Chabad Rebbe, in which he says an amazing thing. He says that the Gemara says in Masechtas Brachas, Dav Gimel, that the night has three parts. There's the first part of the night, second part of the night. First part of the night, a donkey makes its sounds. The second part of the night, dogs bark. The third part of the night is a baby nurses from its mother and a woman speaks to her husband. Basically, it means it's getting close to morning. The baby is hungry. It wakes up. It needs to eat. A woman is talking to her husband because they're waking up already in the morning and they're conversing with each other. He explains it to mean as follows, that this night that the Gemara is alluding to is the last night of the Gullus, which is the night of Thursday night, the night going to Friday, the 500 years preceding the Baal Shem Tov, a very dark night. 2/3 of the night is all kinds of, the dogs are barking, donkey represents different forms of klippa, different forms of non-kosher animals. It's dark, dark times. The last third of the night, if you take 500 years and you divide it into 3, you're going to get 3, it's 166 and a third. 2 times 166 gives you 333 years. So if you want to know when 2/3 of the night pass, it's 333 years into the 6th millennium. That brings you to the year 1573, Shnas Sheleg, 1573. Well, welcome to the amazing world in Tzfas, where you have the Holy Arizal teaching Torah and the deepest secrets of the Torah. But the 5th Chabad Rebbe says that was not yet considered Shabbos food. He says in order for a baby to be able to eat food, first the baby needs to nurse. The baby first has to be able to nurse. A person can't eat solid foods immediately. So first there is the nursing. The nursing, he says, that's what the teachings of the Sodas of the Torah taught by the Arizal was beginning. The baby of the Jewish people. We are, and during the Gullus we're asleep. We're waking up to the Geula. Now it's interesting, everybody knows Kabbalah Shabbos. We go to Greek Shabbos. We sing the songs that were composed in Tzfas by the Reb Shlomo Alkabetz at the same time of the Arizal. Reb Shlomo Alkabetz in his L'Chadoidi speaks about waking up to the Geula. Hisnari me afar kumi, shake yourself from the dirt. Livshi bigdei safartech ami, put on your clothing, your splendid clothing. And we say over there, Hisayri, wake up. The Jewish people began waking up, and the Arizal started nursing us with these teachings of the Torah. Again, in the year 1573, it's exactly 333 years. But that's an introduction to the Baal Shem Tov. The Baal Shem Tov comes onto the scene at the crack of dawn on Friday morning, and the 5th Chabad Rebbe says, you have Aloisa Shachar, you have 50, and then you have a tenth of the day is Netzach Hama, when the sun rises. So if you take 500 years and you divide it by a tenth, and 10 chalakim, it's 50 years. 50 years later, after the Baal Shem Tov, he says it was all the great tzaddikim, but particularly he says the Baal HaTanya started teaching and giving to explain to the mind that we should be able to understand God's unity. Yechudi Allah, Yechudi Tato, we have an understanding. Not just the Baal Shem Tov revealed the Eibishter, but in a way that the mind couldn't understand it yet. The Baal HaTanya started processing it all in seichel, in the mind, that we should be able to appreciate it, and we should be able to do what? We should be able to say Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu and appreciate Achdus Hashem, which is what Mashiach is all about. What do you do at Netzach Hama? Tefillah, right before that, Kriya Shema. So that's the time when these teachings come to the world. But where does that all lead us to? The next stage is Friday midday. Friday midday is the year 1995, 250 years later, after the Baal Shem Tov, in the year 5750, 1990. Brings us to Chatzas Hayom, and that's when the serious preparation for Shabbos really begins. For that, in the next video.